The hiatus is killing me, so let's talk about TBHK stuff I haven't covered yet, the outros. Just like the intros, these contain a ton of references and also a few spoilers that aren't really spoilers anymore, but still. They're also all sung by Akari Kito, the voice actor of Yashiro, which is a really nice detail. Tiny light. The main visual metaphor is simple enough. The white half represents the near shore, while the red half represents the far shore. In the first shot, we have Yashiro and some of the students. Yashiro is the only one who has a reflection in the red because of her shortened lifespan. Remember, this is the outro for the first season. The state of her lifespan isn't explicitly stated until the second season. It's also interesting Akane doesn't have one, considering he's technically a school mystery, but he's also not close to dying, so I guess that's fair. Also, when it switches to the black background, Yashiro's reflection changes to a fish form. In the next shot, we first see both the twins in the near shore, before it changes and then they sort of merge in the far shore. This is hinting at their muddled fates and the fact that Tsukasa is Hanako's Yorishiro. We get a glimpse of the year before the start of TBHK in the next shot. Hanako has been dead the whole time, so he stays in the far shore. We see Mitsuba's death and how Ko only really meets him once he's already dead. When Yashiro and Hanako finally meet in the center, Yashiro sinks into the far shore. This represents their first meeting in the girls' bathroom of the old school building. Because of her shortened lifespan, she has become deeply involved with Hanako and the far shore as a whole. The back half of the outro can be interpreted two ways. You could take it literally and say it's simply about the events of the first episode, where Hanako saves Yashiro from being a fish forever. Or, considering how much the intros love to spoil stuff, it could also be interpreted as a reference to future events. I honestly think it fits really well with the events of the Severance. How Hanako forcibly changed Yashiro's fate and trapped himself in the far shore as a result. But I'm pretty sure those chapters weren't out yet when the anime started. In which case, and also based on the moon at the end of the outro, I think this may have been a hint about the Perfect World arc. As we see in season 2, one of the ways Hanako tries to save Yashiro is by trapping her and everyone else in a fake world created by Shijima. He does this against her will, hence literally throwing her out of the far shore in the ending. But Yashiro manages to escape by flying to the moon, which again we see in the outro. Considering how on the nose the animation is, and this is basically exactly where the manga was up to when the anime started airing, I think this is the most likely case. The song's lyrics fit really well from both Hanako and Yashiro's perspective, but considering Yashiro is the one singing the song, I'm gonna go with hers. In the first verse, we can see she's already fallen in love with Hanako and wants to confess to him. However, we see in the pre-chorus she can't bring herself to do it. The chorus is interesting because it could be about her love for Hanako, how she's going to keep holding on to it forever, and even if they can't be together, she's happy to have just met him. But it's also a really great metaphor for her lifespan. She only has a small amount of time left, but she's going to do her best to keep living. Hanako might not be able to save her. Like we see in the visuals, the perfect world doesn't work out, but she's okay with that. Again, just their meeting has already changed her life. Even if she doesn't get to live much longer, she's enjoyed the time they've had together. The second verse also fits with the whole perfect world thing. She's thinking about the real Hanako. Even though she might die in the real world, it's worth it to spend time with him. In the chorus and bridge, she basically says before she dies, she wants to confess to Hanako. Again, all of this is 5 years before anime-onlys even found out Yashiro was fated to die. With a wish. Visually, the second outro is a bit simpler, but it's very obviously about the perfect world. Hanako is outside, watching the moon, which again is the way out of the fake world, while Yashiro is trapped inside. It's very Rapunzel-coded, isn't it? The princess trapped in a tower, drawing the outside world, but unable to escape alone. Then we enter into Shijima's painting. It's bright, everyone is there and they're happy. But Yashiro knows it's all fake. In reality, she's still being held captive in her cold, dark tower, bored, wanting to escape to the real world. This is enforced by the ending, as we see it's only when the real Hanako joins her, she finally gets some light back into her life. The lyrics almost exactly continue on from the first outro. Now they're in the perfect world, which is explicitly stated in the pre-chorus. Yashiro wants Hanako to stop lying to her, to tell her what's going on in the real world. The first chorus could be interpreted as Yashiro kind of accepting the perfect world. She's willing to give it a try even if it's not entirely right. However, come the second verse and pre-chorus, she's made up her mind and now wants to escape. She understands Hanako's wish, why he did all this, but she has her life in the real world. The real Hanako she wants to get back to. In the bridge, she learns she's fated to die, but it doesn't matter. The addition of one single line at the start of the second chorus changes its whole meaning. Now it's about her life in the real world. She wants to live out the remaining time she has, making as many memories as possible so her inevitable death doesn't feel meaningless. And just like the first song, whether she lives or not, she will continue to hold on to her feelings for Hanako forever. Moment. This one is probably the least visually interesting in my opinion. We start out in Nene's Heart Theatre. For some reason they put so much emphasis on Hanako's keys, but I'm pretty sure they have not made an appearance since Yashiro first took them. The puppets are basically Yashiro trying to figure out how she fell for all of Hanako's lies leading up to the severance and what she can do now. In the next shot, the young Yugi twins watch everything leading up to number 6 being introduced on a TV before it switches to the 1969 moon landing, which we know is very important for Hanako. We can also see Tsukasa's radio in the background, hinting at their involvement in this season's events. And then for the rest of the outro, it's Hanako and Yashiro heading to the moon together in a rocket. This is symbolic of their happy ending, them chasing their dreams, Hanako going to space and Yashiro getting to stay with him. However, we can see by the last scene, that's just their imagination. None of it's real, but the way he looks at her is very cute. The song's lyrics are very similar to the first two endings, but given what happens in Season 2 Part 2, this is clearly about the severance and the disappearance of the apparitions rather than the perfect world. Even if her lifespan has been extended, Yashiro doesn't want to live in a world without Hanako. She can't just forget him and move on. In the chorus, she again talks about how even if she ends up dying, her feelings for Hanako won't change. She will always treasure the time they spent together. The second verse takes place after the severance, during her mission to bring Hanako back. She's more confident now. She will do anything to save him like he did for her. Even if rescuing everyone from the far shore shortens her lifespan again, she will still do it. The last pre-chorus and chorus remind me so much of Yashiro and Hanako's conversation in the far shore. She hates ambiguity, so she'll tell him exactly what she wants going forward. For them to work together to find a solution. Being apart is too painful. And so just like the first chorus, she wants to be with Hanako even if it means she ends up dying. She has completely accepted that. So there we have it. The outros aren't as dense with references as the intros, but they are all very beautiful and need to be appreciated more. Thank you for your time.